Hello friends, how are you doing? And I hope you really are all having a great and fun time and everything is going smooth and awesome. So today we will be discussing the CBSE pattern question exercise on the chemical coordination, right? Where we will be talking about certain hormones, their effects, and the different fundamentals regarding that. We'll start with the one marker, yes, which cell of testes secrete the male sex hormone, which is the principal male sex hormone, that is the testosterone, okay, that is the testosterone. So, the Leydig cells, right, of the testes, the Leydig cells of the testes will secrete the male hormone, the male sex hormone, the male sex hormone, that is the testosterone, okay, that is the testosterone, right. So, it is the Leydig cells of the testes that will secrete the male sex hormone, that is the testosterone, right. After this, we will be talking about the next question, okay. What is the function of the Leydig cells, right? The function, the same thing, the function of Leydig cells is to secrete the male hormone testosterone. And what does this male hormone do? We will see that the function of Leydig cells is to secrete, okay, is to secrete the male sex hormone, the testosterone, okay. The function of Leydig cells is to secrete the male sex hormone, that is the testosterone. And what we will see, this male hormone, the testosterone, what this will do, this will, right, testosterone, right, the testosterone will form the male gamete, okay, will form the male gamete, okay, that is the sperms, that is the sperms. So, the testosterone will form the male gamete, that is the sperms, and also will help in the development, okay, of secondary sexual characters, like what? Okay, the testosterone will form the male gamete, that is the sperms, and also will help in the development of secondary sexual characters like beard, moustache, okay, broad shoulders, etc., in the males, right. Name the two organs which are made up of mixed tissues. Absolutely. Mixed tissues, you know, the heterocrine we are talking about. So we can say that organs made of mixed tissues, right? The organs made of mixed tissues, one is a pancreas and the other one is the gonads, right? The pancreas and the gonads, right? We'll move on to the next question. Why is oxytocin called as the birth hormone? See, what does oxytocin do? You know, oxytocin helps in the contraction of the smooth muscles of the uterus, that is the myometrium layer. Like the myometrium has the muscular layer, okay, the epimetrium, the myometrium and the endometrium. So that is why we say, right, that you know this is called as the birth hormone. So oxytocin, right, oxytocin is responsible, okay, oxytocin is responsible for the contraction. Oxytocin is responsible for the contraction of smooth muscles of the uterus, right. So oxytocin is responsible for the contraction of smooth muscles of the uterus, and hence it is called, okay, as the birth hormone, birth hormone. So oxytocin is responsible for the contraction of the smooth muscles of the uterus, and hence this will be called as the birth hormone, right. We move on to the next question. Name the gland that secretes vasopressin. What are its two principal actions? Right? Name the gland that secretes vasopressin. The posterior pituitary is responsible, okay, the posterior pituitary is responsible for secreting the hormone, for secreting, this is the fifth question we are doing, for secreting the hormone called as vasopressin, for secreting the hormone called vasopressin, right, which is also called, which is also called as antidiuretic hormone, as antidiuretic hormone. Okay. Now what this, so the posterior pituitary is responsible for secreting secreting the hormone called vasopressin, which is also called as the antidiuretic hormone. Now, what this hormone does, this hormone will be, right, the vasopressin is responsible for absorption of water, from the distal convoluted tubule, and the collecting duct. Thus, it will make the urine, makes the urine more concentrated, or hypertonic. The vasopressin is responsible for the absorption of water, from the distal convoluted tubule and the collecting duct, thus makes the urine more concentrated or hypertonic. What is the function of the pineal gland, right? What is the function of the pineal gland? Okay. The pineal gland will secrete the hormone melatonin, right? So, the pineal gland will secrete the hormone melatonin, and what will melatonin do? This melatonin will decrease the activity okay. So, this melatonin will decrease the activity of or we can say will decrease the sexual activity of the individual, and will delay the development of the sexual organs, right? The function of the pineal gland. Next, name the inhibiting hormones released by the hypothalamus, right? The inhibiting hormone released by the hypothalamus. Okay. The first one, okay, growth hormone, inhibiting hormone, GHIH. Okay, the growth hormone inhibiting hormone, the GHIH, okay, this is released by the hypothalamus. Now, this will decrease the secretion of the growth hormone, this will inhibit the release of growth hormone. Okay. Then we can talk of the prolactin inhibiting hormone, right. This will inhibit the release of prolactin. And finally, we have the melanocyte stimulating inhibiting hormone, the melanocyte, MIH we can say, the melanocyte stimulating inhibiting hormone, Okay. Let us go to the next question. What is the endocrine control in the fight and flight response? Explain. Whenever there is an emergency or stress condition, like there is a fight and flight condition, then there will be the adrenaline secreted from the adrenal medulla. Whenever there is an emergency condition, whenever there is an emergency situation, right, whenever there is an emergency situation, there will be a hormone, released by the adrenal medulla, which is called as adrenaline, okay, which is called as adrenaline. Whenever there is an emergency situation, there will be a hormone released by the adrenal medulla, which is called as adrenaline. This adrenaline will prepare the body, for the emergency conditions. Okay, this adrenaline will prepare the body for the emergency conditions. Right. We move on to the next question. Write the differences between the vitamins and the hormones. Okay. Vitamins. The vitamins are carried in the diet of the food, or the food, you can say. The vitamins are present, okay, in the food. Right? The vitamins are present in the food. These can be water soluble and fat soluble as well, and fat soluble as well. Now, when these are water soluble, these can be, right, water soluble are B complex and vitamin C, are B complex and C. You know, in the B complex also we have B1, B2, okay, thiamine, riboflavin, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, B12, all these important ones. Okay. The fat soluble vitamin will be A, D, E and K. This is also called the retinol. Okay, the deficiency of this leading to what? Night blindness and xerophthalmia. Vitamin D, rickets in children, okay, and osteomalacia in adults. Vitamin E is an antioxidant. K, it leads to delayed blood clotting, right. So, the vitamins. However, when we talk of the hormones, these hormones are produced by the endocrine glands, right, and they are produced directly, okay, produced directly in the blood. Right, these hormones. Now, these hormones are required in very small amount to bring about the reaction, but the vitamins also are required in very small amount, but a little more than these hormones, right. Going to the next question, what is the role of FSH, LH and estrogen in female reproductive cycle? Right. So, we will talk about the FSH, right, then the LH and the estrogen, or we can talk of the FSH, the estrogen and the LH. So, this is also called as the follicle stimulating hormone, right. Follicle stimulating hormone, and what does it do? You know, this is released from the pituitary, right, released from pituitary, right, and this will be responsible for maturation of egg within the ovary, for maturation of egg. Within the ovary, right. Talking about the estrogen and the progesterone are the main female sex hormones. Estrogen and progesterone are the main female sex hormones. Okay. The luteinizing hormone, this is called as the luteinizing hormone, and this will bring about the rupture of the mature egg from the ovary. This will bring about a rupture, okay, of mature egg from ovary. Friends, we will be talking about more of this in the next session. Till have a nice time. The time we meet again, a very goodbye from this side. Thank you.